Hi and Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back once again to Technology Information Channel. Today in this video, we are briefly explaining the complete wiring diagram, software setup, installation of this controller, the DSE model 7320 MK2 models. Okay, MK2 model is mean this is the version models after this controller and this same model, and 7320 some model is 72071107120. A different models is coming in this MK2. This is the updated version of this controller. Okay, so complete detail, front view, block diagram, and software setup, and complete wiring installation using for synchronization overall detail in this video. Before starting the video, a small request to all newcomers. If you are first time on my channel, please make sure to subscribe, and also don't forget to hit the bell notification to getting latest update videos. So let's begin. So first of all, let me explain the front view of the DSE7320 MK2 model controller to inform you how we use this navigation key and how to operate this generator and how is this indication, and how to understand the complete front view of this controller to proper operation. Okay, first of all, as you can see here, we have 6 buttons. Okay, 6 buttons, and here we have menu navigation keys, and here we can keep the small papers to write manually by hand when we program this digital inputs. Okay, so first of all, as you can see here, we have a red button. This red button is used to stop the generator instantly, and also used to rest the warning indication, emergency push button when pressed, or clear some warning indication faults. Okay, and after that, here we have manual mode button. When we want to operate the generator in manual mode, we should press this button. Okay, the hand buttons. Here we have some indication light. When we press any button, the indication light should on. That means that's confirmation of the button is pressed successfully. Okay, when we operate the generator manually, we press this manual button. The manual button indication light should on, and after that we press the green button, the generator start at a time. Okay, after that, here we have the test mode button. This test mode button is used to test the controller, where means the generator is operating in a auto mode or not. Okay, after that we have the auto mode button. When we want to operate our generator in auto mode, we press this button just, and this LED light of the auto button should on continuously, and after that, when the main power is goes to fail of the grid power, the generator sense the grid power failures, and then start the generator automatically. Okay, and after we have here, as you can see, we have some the generator symbol and the power grid electric pole symbol. This is the main powers. Okay, and this is the generator powers. Okay, here we have 2 LED from the alternator side and 2 LED from the grid power side. Okay, when the generator is run, that means this yellow light should on. When the generator breaker is closed and load is shifted off the generator load to the load, that's 2 light is on, and this 2 light should off. Okay, when the grid power is available, this red yellow LED is on, and when the main power is shifted, the main power circuit breaker is on. This means the main power is running on a load. Okay, understand? This is our load. Okay, this is the circuit breaker on symbols. Okay, and this 2 symbol is main power available and generator power available. Okay, after that, here we have navigation key. When we enter in a parameter setting manually by hand, we can up and down and edit and save the parameter our voltage, under voltage, and low oil pressure, over temperature parameters set up. And also we can configure the digital inputs and digital outputs have two states. This is the binary. We can on with a 1 and we can off with 0. When we enter it in the setting parameter mode and you going to the some digital outputs, input and outputs, you can on and off only just using 1 and 0. Okay, after that, when you want to save the setting, and then press the check button and then move forward from this key buttons and up and downs. Okay, so this is the display to show you all the parameters: voltage, over voltage, under voltages, and so on. Okay, after that we have here is a 4 configurable states LED. This states LED is used to uh, when you program for something, when you connect the software of this controller going to the this 4 digital configurable output, and when you click the digital output number 1, when you click on it, and the software, the big size of list will be open for you, and you want to select for anything like low oil pressure or temperature or frequency, under frequency. Okay, you can program for anything this. And after that, here you can keep the papers to write manually on head. I program this digital for this purpose, this digital for that, this digital for that, this digital for that. This is the front view. I hope you will be completely understand. This is the second step of to explain the complete block wiring diagram of the DSE controller 7320 MKII model. So as you can see here, this is all the behind the TBS of the controller. As you can see, each pin have on numbers. It's as you can see in order 1 2 3 4 5 like that. Okay, pin number 1 and 2 is the input supply of this controller to turning on this controller to, okay, this is the power up supply. After that, here we have pin number 3 inputs. As you can see, fuse, from the fuse and then out from the fuse. This is the positive feed to the pin number 3 of this controller. Okay, directly pass it out from the fuse. Okay, and then input in a pin number 3 of this controller. Okay, here this is internally jump in the controller and then again out from the controller. As you can see, again out from the controller, and this is going to the fuel out relay and fuel on relay, and this is going to the starter motor relay. Okay, just for the relay feed, relay coil feed. Okay, this is maximum 5-6 amperes output. This contacts, you cannot put a high load on this contact because this is the auxiliary type of contact. Okay, after that, when we, as you can see here, what will happen when we press the emergency push button? When we press the emergency push button, as you can see, this feed will be cut out. When this feed is cut, the emergency contact should use normally close. Okay, when we press the emergency push button, the normally close contact goes to the normally open. The feeding pin of the pin number 3 is cut in this situation, and here as you can see, this is internally jump at the pin number 4 and 5 out to the fuel relay and to the starter motor. And this time when we press the emergency push button, the power supply will be cut, positive feed to the starter motor relay coils and the fuel relay coils. Okay, and this two thing will be terminated, and the display show the emergency push button indication. After that, we press this emergency push button, the contact is going to the original state, to the normally close from the normally open again, and the feeding will be start, and after that we are able to start the generator. Okay, here as you can see, from the pin 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, this is the analog input. Okay, What is mean by analog input? Analog input means it is used for the oil pressure sender, cooling temperature sender, fuel level sender, flexible sender. Okay, it's used for the sensor. Analog means it's need to be feed some signal, ohm or resistance signal feed to the this controller. Okay, here we have digital inputs. Digital inputs means the frequency, temperature. This will only just show you on a screen how much temperature we have and how much resistance we have and how much oil pressure we have. Okay, you can, when you enter in a parameter setting of this controller, you can on and off this digital inputs. Okay, and after that here we have 6 DC outputs. This is the user configurable. I previously explained this. As you can see, this is the for configurable states LED. Okay, this you need to configure for your specific type of your work. From select any option from the list, or temperature or frequency, under frequency, low oil pressure, and maintenance alarm, and something you can set. And after that you write here on a paper on the pointer pins. I actually program this context for that purpose. Okay, after that we have can high and can low. Okay, this is used to connect uh, to communicate with other generators for the load sharing and synchronizations. Okay, so let me show you the CAN communication of the more generators. As you can see here, this CAN communication is connected with the AVR separately, alternators, ECU, ECM, host controller. Okay, this is all connected together. And the end of this CAN communication, we have two type of the uh, two resistor, 120 ohm resistor should be connected between this all CAN communication. As you can see here, 120 ohm resistor is connected. Okay, so as you can see, we have two gensets, Gen 1 and Gen 2. Here is also we have same module 7310 MKII and 7310 MKII model. Okay, as you can see here, RS232 or RS485 communication link is connected after both controller together. To communicate this both connected together, to understand each other situation, how much load is and how much frequency is and how much voltage is, to for the proper synchronizations. Okay, and after that we can use the mechanical and electrical interlocking between of this load shifting. Okay, this is just used in a auto operation. Sometime one generator operates, sometime another generator operates to run. This is not for load sharing. The load sharing controller is just 86 110 86 220 controller of the DFC, which is actually I explained it before. If you want to check and understand, you go check it out in my playlist to check the DSE8610 and 20 controller. Okay, so this is the complete detail about the DSC controller of the CAN communication. So let me move to explain the furthers uh, block diagram remaining inputs is, and so after that, as you can see here, this is used for the Shield RS485 DSE net, and also here we have MPU inputs. Okay, MPU inputs in pin number 21 and 22, and pin number 3 is a shield wire input. When you use the MPU sensor in your generators, you need to give the input to the disk controller to show you the engine actual speed. And after that, here we have the auto mains failure system. Here as you can see, 4 pages. Okay, CT1, CT2, CT3, and CT4. Okay, and here we have CT1, CT2, CT3, and CT4. The 3 CT have P1, as you can see, P1 and then P1, and then P1 side should be connected in each line separately, and the P2 side of the each CT should common and given to the just and one for input pin 45. This is common. Okay, understand? And some generator have 3 CTs, some generator have 4 CTs. Okay, after that we have 4-pole contactors. As you can see here, we have normally opens pin 23 and 33, 32, 33, and the generator input load inputs as L1, L2, L3, and a DSE controller input pin 34, 35, 36, 37. Okay, this is the generator breakers or contactor operated by the normally open and normally closed contactor. Okay, and this is the complete overview of the block diagram of this controller. So if you have further any question, any doubt, any problem, please write comment below in this video comment section. I will give you the complete detail and provide you this diagram through sent to my Gmail. Thanks for watching. See you all next time. Goodbye.